Hi, welcome to
Hi.
Reading Sprints.
Yes.
I'm joined by my lovely friend Kasia tonight. We have started a little bit early because we've had a slight bedtime routine change, so I've decided, while Kev's upstairs with Nathan, I kind of do a bit earlier, so I now have like an extra half an hour. So I thought we'd try it a little earlier and see how it goes. So we had a brief chat before, but have you had a good week apart from what we've just been discussing?
Yeah, I've been really busy this week because I'm doing a lot of jobs. So I'm hoping now to catch up with a little bit of reading because there's a couple of books from the month of April I haven't quite finished yet. And the month is over, so I hate not to wrap it up before the next month starts. So between today and tomorrow, I need to finish all that I have left because I hate it when the next month starts and I cannot start with my May TBR pile in this case. So
Yeah, I normally do that. I normally have books left over, and somehow my book just I just managed to finish it just at the end of April. But then I sort of panic started 3 books, so I've started reading 3,
no.
and I think they're all good. But I don't know why I do this to myself. I know you do this sometimes too, don't you? Sometimes I just can't focus, and I'm like, oh, I'll read that, then I'll read that, then I'll read that.
I do it for productivity purposes because I feel like if I start 2 or 3 books at the same time, depending on my mood, there's something that I can keep reading.
Yes.
And also I feel like if I finish 2 or 3 books nearly at the same time, I feel more accomplished.
Yes, I mean, there's plenty of logic in that. So the 3 I've picked up are Assistant to the Villain, which I think the reason I put it down, this one, was that it was different. I thought it was a modern book, and it's like historical kind of fantasy setting. So, you know, when it's a disconnect from what you expect, and I was like, I'm just going to put this down to give my brain a little time to catch up. And then this is a dystopian one that comes out in July. That's Classic sent me, The Virtue Season, which is kind of like, well, it's described as The Hunger Games meets Bridgerton.
Okay, so that's a pitch.
I haven't really got to the Hunger Games-ness of it yet. It's sort of one of those societies where they're pairing off young couples. And then I also started reading this one because this was another panic. I realised I need to take it back to the library because someone has a hold on it. Have you read this one?
Loved it. I loved it so much. I didn't expect it. Like, I gave it 5 stars, new favorite. I'm going to buy everything this author puts out. I already pre-ordered the new one that it's coming out actually this month. It's the new one is fantasy romance, which is not my thing.
Yeah.
And you bet I pre-ordered that and I'll be seated to read that. Because that one was so good. I didn't expect it. It's beautiful. I hope you love it.
Brilliant. Well, I just was looking on my library list and it said next to it, like, must be returned because somebody has a hold. And I was like, no, I can't renew that one. So I've got a few days. So yeah, I probably need to work on that one tonight. So in that case, I'm going to put that to the top of the pile then. Yeah. So I'm going to be doing some writing, but I think in the last sprint, I'm going to try to read. So how about you? What books have you got left over from April that you need to try and finish?
I have one left over that I'm really excited that I'm currently reading. You've read it. It's Murder Road by Simmons and James.
Oh yes. What are you thinking of it so far?
So far, I'm loving it. I feel like this is one of those books that you should read it as fast as possible.
Yes.
Because I feel like there's so many little things and it has a really good pacing because the chapters are very short. So I feel like this is one of those books that it is best if you consume it in 1 or 2 days time.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about this book. And you know, it starts like a simple story. Like they present you a mystery, but then now things like more characters get introduced and I get more sus about more people and I'm unsure what's going on with this place. Like something's not okay. I don't know quite yet. I'm only in page 138. So I know there has to be something more than that kind of mystery at the beginning, but I'm still not sure what's going to happen. So I'm excited.
Yeah, it's a weird one because it sounds like it's just a Supernatural episode, but it's like the first episode of Supernatural, like the woman at the side of the road thing. So you know, it doesn't seem like enough to sustain a complex and like pacey book, but it is, and it is kind of multi-layered, and you find out stuff as you go. And I really liked the main characters. They kind of felt quite different to me from, you know, like you just get used to a certain type of character in a book. They just seemed quite fresh and kind of different. Like they're a honeymooning couple who are just starting out, and like they're quite young, and they haven't, like, they don't have a lot of money, a lot of possessions. They're just trying to get by. And I was like, oh, this is actually quite refreshing. This feels real.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people in books like seem to live in amazing apartments and be really
but
wealthy.
Did you have the feeling? I have the feeling that a lot of the characters are unreliable, like a lot of them, and I'm like, I don't know who to trust. Like, I don't know who should I trust in this book. It's like normally you have like your main character is somebody that you can trust, so that you root for or stuff like that. And I feel like here they are unreliable, and you're like, I don't know if I can trust them. You know what I mean? So I don't know. We'll see what happens.
It's a good setup, I think, for that, because they've not been together that long. And their relationship, I think, was quite quick and heated, and then they got married. So I loved that feeling that they didn't know each other that well either. So like they're still getting to know each other as the book's going on, even though they're already married. I thought it was really good. I love Simone St. James's books that I've read so far. I've only read that and the Book of Cold Cases, but I really enjoyed both of them.
Yeah, this is my third one. I read first The Sundown Motel. That was my first. And then I think that's the one that made the author more popular. I feel like that's the one that got a lot of people to read her books. And I want to work on the other ones that she did before that. But I was really excited for this one. I think it's also the first one I read that is not told in different timelines, because the other two have different timelines and different years. And I think this is the first one that doesn't have it. So I was expecting it, I guess, because I assumed that was her thing. So I was surprised to see it's not like that, but I'm kind of excited too to see then how she does the whole mystery and wrapping up things, because she's really good at merging the stories together at the end and the different timelines. So I guess it's more challenging for her now that she has a different format in this one.
Yeah, I found that really good in the Book of Cold Cases, but a little bit harder to digest because there's so much to kind of keep in your head as a reader. Whereas that one, I think, like you said, there's a lot to it, but it's not as complex, I don't think, for that reason. So I read that one a lot faster than the Book of Cold Cases. Took me a while, I think, because I'd read a bit and then go, oh, this is hurting my brain. I need to read something easier. Yeah, excellent. So are you going to focus on that, or have you got other contenders as well?
Well, for now, I'll focus on this one, because if I can, I would love to finish it. Because I have this feeling that if I keep reading one a little bit today, a little bit tomorrow, I'm going to miss a lot of the details. And I want to know if I can figure out the twist before the twist comes. So I might focus on this one for tonight. We'll see.
Awesome. Yeah, I don't want to say anything to you. I want to talk to you when you finished it and see what you think of all of it. Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed it, Stephen. I thought it was fantastic. These are the Kendara Blake Buffy books. I think if it's the ones we were talking about previously.
I need to get the third one.
Yeah, I've got that waiting for me. I ordered it from Amazon and it never shipped. Like it's dead waiting to be shipped. So I cancelled that and ordered it from Blackwell. So it came a little after publication, but like really quickly. So because I think I don't know whether they haven't got a UK publisher, but they certainly, each book has taken a while to get to me. So I'm really looking forward to it. I haven't seen them in bookshops here very often, I don't think. I think they're more like being read in the US. Yeah, I'm excited, but I'm sad too, like finishing the series. It feels like I want more Buffy Kendara books, but maybe in the future, you never know. Hi, Colette.
Hello.
Hi, Lizzie. I think safe to say we're okay. We're both just busy and tired as usual.
Yes.
I feel like it's the same pattern for both our lives right now. Hi. Hi, Sharon.
Hi, Sharon.
Hi, Melina. Oh, fun. That sounds great, Sharon. I bet you're lovely at giving feedback as well. I think the best people to give feedback are people like you, Sharon, who are so well read in the field. And I imagine you're really kind with your feedback, as well as giving lots of advice and guidance, which we definitely need. So yeah, I am going to be plotting for two. One of them working on some work for a client, one working on my own stuff, and then I'm going to, on Kash's advice, read an education mentalist. Because
I hope you like it.
It's pretty short. Yeah, I'm sure I will. I read the beginning and I like the setup of it so far. And I like the references to Carmilla, like in the characters' names and stuff. So it's only just over 300 pages. So I think in a couple of days, hopefully, if I haven't got too much on, I should be able to do it. Okay, so I think that's everybody caught up in the comments. So we'll be doing 3 sprints tonight. Definitely 2 40-minute ones, and then depending how tired we are, we'll see whether 30 or 40 for the last one. And then you normally stay to the end, Kasha, but if you do get to the point where you're like, it's late here, I need to go, then, feel free. It's not as late though as usual. We've had an earlier start. It seems that most of the usual suspects are here, so maybe the early start hopefully will work for all of us. Let me know in the comments if you have any thoughts on that, because I quite like it. I think I only get more tired and kind of delusional as the evening goes on. I'm a bit brighter when it's earlier. Okay, let's put the timer on and then we will see you in 40 minutes. Hello. How did it go, Kasha?
Well, good. I read over 40 pages on the sprint.
Nice.
So I have my theories. No,
I
something.
bet you do.
I wrote something and then that something happened. So, but I'm only in the middle. Like something happened. I'm like, I swear this is what's going to happen next. And it happened. I'm just trying not to spoil for anybody. I'll tell you later on the private chat.
Okay. Yeah, do it.
But there was something that I'm like, I bet you this is going to happen. And then it did. But there are some things that I'm still unsure of. But it's really interesting. Now we got to meet these two sisters, Beatrice and Grace, I think it's called, or Gracie or something.
Yeah, I love them.
I love them. I love them.
They're great.
They are
like
me.
Yeah, they're little busybodies, aren't they? Who are just like, okay, so we're obsessed with true crime, and there's one going down in our town, so this is great.
Yeah. I love them. I'm like, yes, this would be me.
They're such great characters for an adult book. I think it's really nice to see teen characters, because I think in adult books sometimes it's like the opposite of YA. In YA books, the adults are often vanished, and then in adult books you tend to have like people with young kids or people with no kids, but I think teenagers are often not as present. So
yeah, and they seem to be like involved like so far. I don't know, but I'm in the middle of like a chapter with them. So I'm really excited that they partnered up a little bit to try to figure things out with them. But yeah, it's a lot of fun so far. So I'm excited. So,
without spoiling anything, I really like the way Simone St. James has that feel, a bit like CJ Tudor does, of like, is it supernatural? Is it not?
Yeah.
What is in the characters' heads? What isn't?
Yeah, I really wrote down, is it supernatural or is it a human horror thing? Because it's unclear to me to this point.
Yes, I love that. I think in adult horror and like thrillers and mysteries is like a real sweet spot for me. I always think it's so interesting because that's kind of how I feel about the supernatural. I think like it's kind of something that could be on the fringes of our knowledge, but it obviously isn't really over, otherwise we would know about it, right? Like if
but also it's tied, because somebody has to kill someone for them to become a potential ghost, so there has to be a killer, and that maybe there's a revenge vengeful ghost or someone like that, so there has to be a kill first. So it's a little bit tied in a way, so I like when authors do that a little bit as well.
Yes, it's very cool. I'm glad. So you're still enjoying it as much as when we last checked in? Excellent.
Yes. So far I'm scared. Because the ending in this book, sometimes it's a make or break deal, so I'm a little bit scared. But
completely. I think that thrillers, mysteries, and horror, I can enjoy the whole book, and the ending doesn't necessarily ruin it, but the ending can leave you on a really like sour note where you think, oh, that just let it down, or it can leave you on a really good note, can't it?
Yeah.
So, sorry, Kev's upstairs still, and his phone's just ding-a-linging. The only way we can survive is to set constant reminders for ourselves, otherwise we just can't function.
Yes.
Hi, somebody from Atlanta. I went to Atlanta so many years ago and I loved it. I ate so much good food there. Where did I eat at Atlanta? I feel like I ate at the Vortex Bar and Grill and Gladys Knight's Chicken and Waffle House. I feel like they're Atlanta. We were mainly there because the Vampire Diaries is filmed pretty near there. So we went to the Vampire Diaries filming locations. And then
I've started rewatching the whole show because I want to get to the end, because I never got to the end. I'm in season 5 now, so I'm very proud of myself.
See, Netflix kept taking it off. Like, I'd get really into it. They've done this a couple of times over the years. I got really into it, and then they took it off, and then it went back on, and I started rewatching it, and then they took it off again, and it's now moved to ITV2 in the UK. It's moved to like a different channel, so I can watch it again. So I think I've got season 8 still that I've never watched. It does get a little bit wild, I think, as it goes on. Like,
I've never passed.
How many Elenas can there be?
Where I am, so I'm still in season 5, and surprisingly, I don't know the ending because I've stayed away from spoilers. But all the TV shows, all the spin-offs are all in HBO for me right now. So I plan on finishing the Vampire Diaries and go for the originals and then the legacies, which I'm guessing is gonna get worse and worse as it goes.
Possibly.
I want to do it. I want to finish everything to be like, I watched it all.
Yeah.
Once.
So do I. I don't know whether Legacies came to the UK or if it did, like it came to channels that I don't have. Is that the Alaric Saltzman spin-off?
I think so. I
Yeah.
think it's a Larry spin-off, but
Yeah.
I saw everything was in HBO, and I'm like, this is my time. I
Yes,
gotta
do it.
binge everything now that
Yeah.
I have everything there, and be like, okay, I completed it once. Probably if I would ever rewatch, probably I would only do the Vampire Diaries. But I really love Klaus. I met him in real life, and I took a picture with him, and he's a really nice guy. And I'm Team Klaus. I'm sorry, but
See, I went to a convention once and I got to meet Stefan, Damon, and Jeremy all together. So I got
nice.
to like compare the three of them.
Nice.
And I have to say, Ian Somerhalder, I was just like absolutely mesmerized by him. Paul Wesley is really like cool and funny and quite silly. Like on all the pictures, he did like a Zoolander pose, so he's like this.
Oh.
But Ian Somerhalder, like, I did this coffee lounge thing where you had to enter to win a raffle, and I bought so many raffle tickets, so I made sure I got a place on his like coffee lounge. And I just looked at him. He's like his eyes, you know, that bright green.
Yeah.
Like they're just like that in real life. And he seems like a really nice
I'm
person.
Team Damon since Hello Brother.
I mean, honestly,
sorry, not sorry, but
that's all he needs to say, isn't it?
One of my like favorite moments in the show. It's not really a spoiler because you can see it coming from season 1, but it's the first time that he and Elena kiss properly. I was like, I was living for it. I was like, I've been waiting so long for this.
There's one where they kiss and a Florence and the Machine song plays.
I think that's the one.
Is that the one?
I think so.
I've rewatched that so many times. I found it on YouTube once and I was just like watching it on a loop. So satisfying. I really need to know. Obviously, I don't think you'll probably know, but some weird stuff happens that needs to get resolved in season 8, and I still don't know how that thing gets resolved.
I probably don't know because I'm in season 5, and every season is wild. The first season was kind of okay, and then it's just like they keep adding up layers and more creatures and more shit, and it's like, oh god.
Honestly, I think they've just created their whole like vampire werewolf, their own mythology, and I think it's just fun and silly to me.
And witches. We also have witches.
Yeah, just throw them in there. I think, do they have ghosts too? I feel.
Well, yeah, because some people kind of, you know, sometimes you see ghosts because they use some magic, and then there is some sort of moments where you can see people as ghosts. I don't want to spoil too much for people. But
yeah. I don't think you've got to the thing that I found the most bonkers. Something that happens to Bonnie and Damon together.
No, I don't.
I still don't. When you get to something that happens to Bonnie and Damon, please explain it to me, because I've watched that season twice now and I still don't understand what happened.
Okay.
So just to store that in your mind. If anybody can DM me and tell me who understands what I'm talking about, that'd be great. Hi, Katie. I hope you're okay.
Oh, nice.
Excellent. Keep you going while you're working. Sneak it in. Hi, Lily. Oh, nice, amazing. Nice. I've only read Carrie maybe twice, I think, but it's really good. It's a weird thing with Stephen King. I've either read his books like many times or not at all. I need to actually broaden my... I bought so many of them. I need to read some more. Hello. Hi. Oh, I've heard good things about that. It comes up a lot on my book talk and YouTube at the moment.
It's the first time I hear about it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know what it's about. I've just seen the cover popping up and it looks interesting. Oh, I really liked that one. Sorry about the cold, but I hope you're enjoying the book. It's described as a crime romantasy, but it's very light on the romance. Werewolves are being murdered, and this werewolf convinces I think like the Warlocks are police, and she convinces this police detective that she needs to help him to investigate because she's a werewolf and werewolves are being murdered. And it's just like a kind of cozy crime caper type thing. It's really good. I think it comes out this month. That sounds fantastic, Sharon. I had the exact same craving earlier, and I went and bought a big bag of Maltesers, poured them into my hot chocolate. Would highly recommend. Do feel slightly sick now, but I think it was worth it. I think you do. I think Murder Road is my favourite so far, Kasha. What about you?
Well, I haven't finished it, but it depends if you enjoy multiple timelines or not.
Yes. Yeah.
Because the other ones, you know, there's different timelines, and there's two different characters, mostly female, I think, in both books that I've read, and their stories are somehow connected, and then towards the end everything wraps up.
Yeah.
So that's in both the other ones. But I read the Sundown Motel first, and that's what made me think, okay, I want to read everything by Simmons and James.
Yes.
But I enjoy like multiple timelines, dual timelines and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I personally like it, but I know some people don't like that at all. So if you don't, Murder Road, maybe.
I do like it, but it breaks my brain slightly. Like I have to really concentrate when I'm reading it because you know, like if you just do attention lapses and then you're like, hang on, what decade is it now? Who is this we're talking about? Oh, that's so cool. Thank you for joining us for your very first one. They become really addictive. I got invited to go on one. I think it was from Spoopy Hall isn't even on YouTube anymore, but she used to do this thing called Spoopathon, which is a readathon. She got on once and that was it. I was just hooked. I was like, right, reading sprints are the thing for me. I love chatting to people in the comments and obviously in sort of real life, Takasha. And I just love how productive I am. I'm like the most productive.
Yeah.
I should just do them every night, really, because I would get so much stuff done. Yes, this is a very lovely group. If you're wondering, we do them. I've just started doing them at 7:00, and it seems to be a good time because there's lots of discussion going on. 7:00 on a Thursday, and then hopefully I'm going to be doing some other nights as well. Oh, wow.
Oh, nice.
Extra people from Atlanta, Georgia. It's so lovely to chat to people from all over the world. This is very exciting. So you're reading Murder Road. That sounded so weird. I'm sorry, Kasha. I don't know what I'm talking about. Kasha is reading Murder Road by Simone St. James, and I'm writing / editing / plotting at the moment. I'm kind of all over the place. I'm working on a few different things. One thing for a client, and then I'm plotting my own thing at the moment as well. And then I'm going to be reading An Education in Malice in a bit, which Kasha tells me is great. So
I hope you like it, because otherwise you're going to be like, how can you love this?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure I will. It's a Carmilla retelling.
I mean, it's Sapphic vampires. I mean,
yeah, I just needed to hear Carmilla Sapphic vampires sold. As long as the writing is really good, and it seems to be so far. Yes, this is the whole thing. If anybody doesn't know how the sprints work, Sharon has explained it beautifully. I have just got that from the library. I'm excited. I've just read Ninth House. Have you read that, Kasha? I really enjoyed it.
I hated it.
Oh, no. What did you hate about it? I thought it was really good.
I couldn't get into it. I didn't like the characters. I was getting confused. And I'm like, I can't do this.
Yeah, it is. It's confusing and it's quite slow, but I liked the academia side of it. I liked the societies and the way the world was built. Agree. I kind of wanted more horror and I wanted more romance. I know you could probably have done without that. Maybe, depending on the romance. But yeah, I wanted a little bit more from some aspects, but I really enjoyed it.
I'm excited about The Familiar. I've considered picking it up because it is related to Spanish history.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
So I was like, maybe I should. And the cover is really pretty. And it's every time I see the cover, I'm like, should I get the book? Should I not? Because I didn't like Ninth House at all. But I mean, it's a different thing. This one is not dark academia. I think it's historical fiction based on Spain. So I was like, maybe I should give it a go.
Okay, well, I'll start it and tell you if I get confused. And if I do, I'll give you a warning. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, isn't it? Sometimes I think even if you know what's going to happen, if you're really enjoying the book, it's kind of like, okay, you can deal with it.
Definitely.
Yeah, I agree. Although, like Kasha, I found Ninth House slightly confusing. So I'll be interested to know if I get confused in.
It's like you haven't read probably The Cipher by Kathy Koja.
No, I don't think so.
It's like it's really well written, but it was not for me because there's a lot of cosmic horror in it, and it was very like at the beginning I was still kind of in tune with the characters, but then it just got crazier and crazier. And even though I think the writing is great and I think that she's a talented author, I don't think she's for me because it gets really confusing, really weird, and it's very slow paced. So I just feel like it's not for me. And I don't know if that's the same thing that I have with Lee Bardugo, but I wanted to give her another chance because, you know, one book maybe is not enough. But it's not like I don't appreciate the writing. It's just I cannot get into the story, and then it's a problem.
It happens, isn't it? Like I was talking to Ramir about this the other day. Like sometimes the writing just doesn't like the writing kind of scratches something in your brain in a weird way. Like I tried reading Her Majesty's Royal Coven by Juno Dawson. And for whatever reason, I think I need to try it again actually, because maybe I just wasn't in the right mindset. But something about, I think it was one of the narrators, like I just couldn't get on board with what was happening because of the narrative voice. And I think I've been reading more adult books since, so I think I probably need to give that another go, because I think adults sometimes can be a bit less like easy to get into than YA. I think YA generally you can just figure out straight away what's going on usually. Yeah, fingers crossed you will enjoy it. Oh, yay. I really enjoyed Over Emotional, and I did the same. I went straight from Over Emotional to Overthinking. It was really good to read them one after the other because there's quite a lot of stuff that happens in the first one that kind of then continues. Have you read those, Kasia? I feel like you would enjoy them.
Not yet, but I've seen them around. I've seen them at the bookstore, and I consider picking them up, but I still haven't.
They've got the kind of Heartstopper feel of like the found family, not as kind of cute and fully wholesome as that, because the boy does kiss another boy at the start and his head explodes. So they're not. Yeah, I mean, it's a good start, solid start to a book, because he has superpowers that if he's feeling really strong emotions, it triggers an event in the world. And I don't think it's a spoiler. I think it's on the back of the book that his powers are kind of flipped. So if he's feeling super happy, something really bad will happen.
So it's the boys mixed with Heartstopper.
Yeah. Like, it's just, so there's definitely a Heartstopper thing because he is not only wrestling with his superpower, he's also wrestling with the fact that he's not out. And like the one boy he's tried to kiss, he blew his head up. So there's a lot going on, but it also, as well as having that dark aspect to it, it's like really sweet and wholesome too. This is good. So St. James is for you. Oh, hi, that is so lovely to see you on here. I remember because I said, Elise is my middle name. I don't often get to sign to Elise's. It's a nice like rare name to come across. I did have a really good time at Goth Weekend. It was so busy. I saw so many like gothic items of merchandise. Didn't buy that much because it was all quite expensive. Yeah, it was really fun to sign books as well. I think it was the most like Mina appropriate crowd I've ever seen because like loads of the people were like dressed a bit like vampire or a bit like gothic. Nice. And I could just tell the people that were walking the shop that were coming to see me because it was like teenage girls wearing these amazing gothic outfits, like, you know, full fishnets and black makeup and stuff. And I was like, yes, they're going to come to the vampire author. Yeah, thank you for coming. It was very fun. Oh, that's a good idea, Sharon. That's a nice night to kind of wrap up the week.
Call me up, Sharon. Call me up. I'll be there.
Excellent. Nice. And I know that I've instantly... Why is the name of the author gone out of my head? Margie Fuston's latest book is the pick for May. I still need to pick that up. There's lots of choices there. So you've got the YA and adult choices. So I suppose it's a case of looking into those and deciding which ones. Cosmic horror.
Yeah.
I'm glad that question was aimed at you. I was like, huh?
No, it's because I mentioned The Cipher by Kathy Koja. And
I'm still quite like a horror baby, so I just like I know Stephen King quite. I was going to say quite intimately, and that sounds really weird. I'll just back away into my like. I could do the Homer Simpson bushes.
I love that one. Yeah,
you know what I mean. I know his books really well, but I think horror. I think my niche seems to be like modern feminist horror, like Rachel Harrison. Simone St. James kind of dips into horror, I think. I really enjoyed Diavola that I just read recently.
I'm on the fence with that one because I hear so many mixed things. I just saw a vlog of Jordaline Reads, and she read the book, and she said that there was not much horror in it. And I'm like, She said it was more like a family kind of dynamic drama thing. Yeah. Like she was missing the horror a little bit in it. And I'm like,
A lot of it is that, but to me, it was, you know, I mean, it was pretty scary because I was staying in an Airbnb reading a book about a haunted Airbnb, so I think that helped. And there's a graveyard next to the Airbnb too. So as I'm reading the book about a haunted Airbnb, I can see the graveyard right there. So that probably added to my experience. But I found it creepy. I wouldn't say I found it really scary. There were a couple of bits, you know, like the haunted house stuff where like somebody can feel a presence there and they're
Mm-hmm.
not exactly sure what's going on. I always find that really scary because that can kind of happen in your life, can't it? Where you're walking through a room sometimes and you think, okay, weird, I don't feel like I'm on my own. I found that quite scary. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I would give it a go, and it's quite a quick read too. So it's not one that'll kind of take you ages to
Interesting.
get through.
Echo slasher horror.
Oh, interesting. I like a slasher. Oh, sorry, I think I might have already read that. I'm like jumping around the comments. Okay, so maybe that's what I need to do then. I definitely need to give this another go. So maybe the audiobook is the answer. I don't remember what it was. It was definitely something to do with one of the characters that I just didn't gel with. I can't remember why. I feel like
the two I've read by her were YA. I read Say Her Name and Cruel Summer. So I've only read YA. So those were fine. I enjoy them.
Yeah, I enjoyed Cruel Summer.
Yeah.
I haven't read Say Her Name, although I do have it, and I've read a couple of others that I enjoyed. There was one about fashion, like about a model, and then there was one that was like a weird kind of Alice in Wonderland sort of thing that might have been called Wonderland. That was good, like a good thriller. Alien aspects of the world, words and parallels. Hi, thank you for coming on. Yes, agreed. That's the kind of thing that I like.
I might get it then because it was on sale on Amazon. I'm like, I don't know. See, I come here and now you people make me buy more books. It's unbelievable.
This happens every time. I have that as well. I'd forgotten about that one, Melina. That one's been sitting on my shelf. I think I have a signed copy of that too. I need to remember Hollow Pie.
Yeah, it's still on sale, so I think I'm gonna grab it. It's only €7, which is not much money.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, and I really like the cover. That's one of the reasons why I really wanted to pick it up. I think the cover is chef's kiss.
It is.
For everybody that doesn't know, that's the cover.
Yeah, that's the vibe of the book as well.
Yeah,
and the cover,
I love the cover.
The cover does feature pretty heavily too. I like that when like the imagery on the cover kind of has a real meaning for the book.
Fine, I'm buying the book. Everyone happy now? I bought more books.
Your story. I hope you enjoy it.
I hope so.
Yes, cover buying is definitely a thing. I bought a couple of books. Have you read, is it Exquisite Corpse?
Yes, it's gonna be in one of my new I'm making like a video series this year, which is gonna be reading the most disturbing books that people have recommended me, and that is on the list. So that's one that is gonna be in the first video that I upload with that. I'm gonna read like 2 or 3 books that are like the most disturbing for people and then make a blog about it. So that one is the first one in that list.
I'm a little scared that I've picked up a book that's described as one of the most disturbing. I just saw serial killer on the back.
That one has all the trigger warnings. Apparently it's quite intense. So
oh my god.
Go Amy.
Oh, thanks. That's really good to know after I picked it up. So I saw serial killer and I saw New Orleans, so I thought I would give it a go because I have another book by that author that I don't know whether I read it, but it was also set in New Orleans, and I kind of collect stuff that's set in New Orleans because I love it.
At least you go now with a warning.
Yes, thank you.
So you can prepare yourself for the experience instead of being like hit in the face with it.
It depends on what the extremes are. Like, with me, I've got really specific trigger points. Although in Ninth House, I was taken kind of by surprise. I'd been warned about this particular content thing and something happened. But because I'd been warned, it actually wasn't as bad as I thought. I think with me, it's, like you say, if I'm kind of hitting the face with it, if I know, I can prepare. And also, like the one in Ninth House, it was really bad, but it also like could have been worse. I think I'd made it worse in my head. So when I read it, I was like, yeah, that's really bad, but it's not like as epically bad as it could have been. If that makes any sense.
Yes.
Okay, I think it's time for another sprint. I'm loving all the chat and seeing lots of new faces, unfamiliar faces. So if you want to let us know what you're getting up to in the comments, then we can chat on the other side. I'm going to put on a 40-minute timer and we'll see you on the other side. Hello.
Hello, everybody.
I didn't want to stop you. I was like, is Kasha a really good bit of the book? How's it going?
Good. I know I'm just taking notes because I might do a review video of it. I'm not sure yet, but I've been taking notes of things so that I remember later, things that my brain was thinking while I was reading.
That's a good idea because I quite often get to review a book, especially the ones that I've read at the beginning of the month, and then I'm like, oh, I don't remember anything about that at all.
No, like if I do either like a book club thing where we discuss the book, or if I want to do a review video on my channel, I always take notes because there are so many things that I think in the moment and then I forget about it.
Yeah.
Also, reading the book, I like an idea came to my mind of a video that I can do for book recommendations. So I was like, oh, let me write this down before I forget that I thought about this.
That's a good idea. I've been thinking of getting a reading journal for that reason, like to jot down ideas for videos, to jot down thoughts about books. And because I use Goodreads to track the book I've read, but I rarely write an actual review on there. And I'm thinking if I kept a reading journal, I could then like transfer it to Goodreads, in one go. I could just write some quick reviews because it does help authors. And I am one. I feel like I should be doing this, but I just don't.
I always leave reviews for every book that I read, some longer than others. I don't like to do like huge, super long reviews, but just like the basic of what I thought of the book and give it a rating, just in case other people, go to Goodreads like I do sometimes and check out what others think of the book. I always keep it spoiler free. So I always do leave something on Goodreads. Yeah.
I like the fact that with Goodreads you can hide it if it's got spoilers too, because I quite often scroll when I'm either halfway through a book and I'm thinking, I want to know what other people think of this, or I'm deciding whether to get it. I think it's good that you can miss the spoilery ones because I hate that. There's nothing worse when you're reading than already knowing because somebody's ruined it for you.
So how did you do?
Good. I've kind of got, because I'm working on 2 different projects, I wasn't ever going to finish anything tonight, but I've got to a satisfying point in each. So I'm going to read in last sprint. Also, I'm doing my first day of teaching tomorrow for like 7 years. I'm kind of going back to do some supply teaching. I've been doing like school events as an author, but this is me as a teacher as opposed to as an author. So I've got a few things I need to sort out during this next one as well. I kind of just need to pack my bag, so I may disappear for a little while to do that. But yeah, I definitely want to check that I've got everything ready because I need to leave pretty early in the morning. I'm looking forward to it. It'll be nice to get back into the classroom because I think what chased me out was all like the paperwork and stuff, and you don't have to do that as a supply teacher. You just have to teach the class, which is what I actually like doing.
Nice.
So yeah, that'll be interesting. So let's see what the people in the comments are saying, and then we can maybe jump to this last sprint.
Yes, for you.
On the edge of extreme. That makes me slightly nervous that you two think it's extreme. So we'll see. Oh, thank you for coming on. There's no late here. It's fine. You can just kind of rock up whenever you feel like it. We'll probably normally be done about 10 p.m. UK time, so still plenty of time left. Oh, thank you, Stephen. I hope you're enjoying it. Hello, morning people. This is nice to see. Thank you for joining. We always do them on a Thursday, unless I'm elsewhere, and I've Cash is often here, but lots of other lovely people join me too. Ooh, I've never heard. So is Eva Rice the name of the book or the author? Have you heard of that, Kasha?
I think. Oh, is it? This could be everything. The title and maybe.
That is. Oh, I was thinking that was.
I'm like assuming. I don't know. I haven't heard of it. I don't know.
Yeah, I was thinking this could be everything. Was like excitement about.
Yeah, it could be both.
It could be the title.
It could be both.
Either way, I'm intrigued. Oh, I like how welcoming everybody is. I do think I need to add it into my routine, Sharon. I've just got so many other things in my routine, but one of my friends has got this beautiful diary, and the same company, it's an Australian company, so I'd have to order it, but the same company do reading journals, so I'm thinking that maybe I can't buy a diary midway through the year. That seems silly when I already have one, but I might buy one of their reading journals and give that a go, because I think it would help me to remember. Excellent.
You know, what used to help me a lot when I was studying, I feel like writing things down helps me a lot to remember things later. Like I remember if I would write things down, I would remember me writing the things down on the
Yeah.
exams. Like, like when I write something down, I remember more about the book later on. That if I
Yes.
don't take any notes at all, then I feel like, oh, what was the book about again? What was the name again of the character? Whereas if I take notes, I think more stays in my brain for some reason. Yeah.
Yes, I do completely get that. I think I was the same revising. I had to make really detailed notes and then condense them down. And like you, I kind of remembered that process more than the actual information as an auditory thing. I remembered the writing. Yeah, I thought it probably was. Excuse me, it's getting late here, so I'm becoming even less logical than normal. Yes. How did you know? How did you know, Kirsty? That is incredible. Of all the things that I could have been talking about, that is the one, Quirky Cup Collective. They're amazing and they're quite pricey, and you have to pay the shipping from Australia, so that makes them kind of even pricier. But
Wow.
my friend's diary is really beautiful. It's got little art pages within it and kind of room for reflections as well as your diary entries. They are so nice. I've got a papier diary which I really like, and it's beautiful, but it kind of pales in comparison to this company. So I think next year I'm going to get the diaries, but it might be that the reading journal is the compromise that I can get in between. Okay, so I'm going to be all over the place in this next sprint, so I'll be sitting here part of it, disappearing for some to check that I packed my bag and whatnot. So I think, is 40 minutes okay for you, Kasha, if I put another 40 minutes on?
Yeah, I'll survive. Yes, yes.
I mean, it's even later for you. I don't think we'll talk too
10
long.
p.m. already for me. Yes.
Yeah, we'll kind of wrap it up quickly then. So hopefully, won't be too tiring. You seem to stay awake like more than me in these, even though you're later. Like you keep your energy levels. My energy levels are already like on the downturn.
I think it's only because of the sprints. Normally, if I'm reading at this time of night, I start to get really sleepy. But when I know I'm in reading sprints, when I'm on camera, like when I'm in the reading sprints in the comments, I also get sleepy. But when I know I'm like participating like this, I stay awake for some reason. I don't know. Might be, the energy from the
probably that little bit of a rush of like knowing that you're doing it publicly. Although I kind of forget that I'm doing it publicly. I feel like we're just having a conversation, and sometimes I think, oh gosh, what am I actually saying? And other people can hear me. I think because I'm used to like Zooming with friends now. Like if I've got friends that don't live close, like we talk virtually and obviously privately. So I kind of forget that these things aren't private sometimes. But there you go, hearing all my secrets by accident. I think I'm pretty good at filtering sometimes, but I have to catch myself. Especially when I'm talking about book stuff. That's why I just say nothing on the sprints about what I'm working on, because then I know that I can't like catch myself out. And I'll just tell you before and after, so it's fine.
Exactly.
Okay, right, I'm going to pop the sprint on, so we will see you in 40 minutes. Bye. Hello. That was it. Last sprint. How did it go?
Good. I'm now at page 272. So
Nice.
I'm getting to the juicy parts.
Yeah, I bet. It's not very long, is it? Have you got about 70 pages left or something?
Well, it's 300. Hold on. 58. So
Yeah.
so it's still quite some pages. Maybe things still happen, you know. But yeah, something I was thinking about that was maybe a solution is kind of what has been hinted to.
Yeah.
What happened? Like I didn't guess it from the beginning, but there was a point where I was like, I guess it's gonna be this, and it kind of so. But I'm really enjoying it so far. We'll see how it ends.
Yeah, I think in terms of the reveals, I probably got like half to 3/4 of the way there, and then there were a couple of things that were like a nice surprise. But I think when I enjoy a book loads, like we said earlier, I don't kind of mind if I've guessed quite a bit of it, because some of them I don't think are that much hidden in that book, whereas some of them are.
Yeah, I mean there are some things that I guess you almost see coming, and they're also talking a lot about it in the head or like with people. So their questions become your questions, and then you start questioning things, you know, and you're
Yeah.
like, oh, if they say this, maybe it's because of this. So because they are already in their mind trying to solve some mystery, you're
Yeah.
also really focused into solving it with them. Whereas other thrillers, the characters are not self-aware like that. Like in this case, you know, they are not really trying to dig into some kind of kills or mystery or stuff. And I feel like here the author really wants the reader involved, because throughout the whole book there are so many questions that are brought up about everything, and I think it's to keep the reader, you know, like awake and trying to guess things. So I enjoy it a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I find that tricky actually, to know how far to lead the reader sometimes. Like, because I think Mina is that type of intuitive, kind of curious character. And sometimes she's so busy thinking about it. I'm like, if she thinks too far, she's going to solve it and like tell the reader the answer. So quite often in my early drafts, I have stuff like that in, and then I tend to rein some of it back just so that I don't go too far, because I don't want to reveal everything. But like you said, I do like feeling like I'm part of it, and like I'm part of and obviously when it's somebody else's book, I am trying to actively work it out, as opposed to knowing exactly how my
Because
own go.
yeah.
Yeah. That's the thing, like with mine, I never know how good the twists are and stuff, because I'm like, well, I came up with them, so I don't know.
Exactly. Yeah. That's
So
tricky, I think, when you write it.
yeah. So I got a few like sorting out things done, and then I got an email that totally distracted me, because I have I have a school visit in a couple of weeks, and I didn't know if it was going to happen or not, because I'd kind of not heard anything, and yeah, it is going to happen. So I was just trying to digest that and go like, oh, where are these schools again? Because it's like 2 or 3 schools in one day in one area. So I just had a frantic like, am I going on the train? Should I drive? So I just like did a little bit of research. So I read some of the book, and I do really like it. I think
nice.
I think it's going to be really good. I never know how I feel about student-teacher relationships. That's the only thing where I'm a bit like, at first I didn't know how old the girls were, so I was like, oh, if they're teenagers, I don't like this. But because they're in their 20s, I think it's not the same as if they were school age. They're like university age, so they are adults. But there's still that kind of power dynamic at play, which I think is part of the point, isn't it? It's not like, it kind of is seductive and, you know, sensual and the rest of it, but I think it is drawing your attention to the imbalance, rather than, so far, I think, trying to make it too like aspirational, if that makes sense. Like, you know, stuff like Pretty Little Liars, where it's like, it's kind of presented as totally fine that a teacher's having a relationship with an underage child.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going in that direction, but it does always give me that slight, like, I don't know, like an ick that's kind of, I'll see how far. But yeah, at first I was like, oh no, how old are these girls? And now I'm like, okay, they're adults, this is fine. But yeah, I really like the way the poetry and everything that they're writing is, I guess that's the dark academia thing, isn't it? Like the academics kind of lacing with the storyline, I think is really good. And I really like the Carmilla thing. And I'm interested in the fact that there's a third character at play, because in Carmilla itself, obviously, there's the two main female characters, and then there's this third character of the teacher in this one who isn't kind of in the original source material. So I'm interested in how she fits into the relationship.
Yeah, I really liked Laura and Carmilla, and I felt like they were really well balanced out. And I felt like when I was reading a chapter, I knew whose perspective I was reading from very quickly. Like, you know, it was easy to tell. And I really like how the book progresses. And, you know, I'm not gonna say things, but like, I hope that you get excited and surprised about things like I did.
Yeah, so far, I'm not that far into it, but it's just at a point where it's clear that they're becoming academic rivals, the two girls, and, you know, the lecturer's kind of playing them off against each other a little bit so far, I think, like...
I think it's really cute because Laura is like, oh my god, this girl is so cute, and Camila is like, I hate you.
Yeah, like, I know, yeah. Laura is there at the moment where she's like... She thought that Carmilla
was her the first night, and she's like, oh, she's so cute. And then Camilla is like, I hate you.
Yeah, I know. And I'm just a complete raving bitch. And, you know, and she kind of describes herself as that. And then obviously Laura is thinking it too. I think it's going to be fun. I don't think it's going to take me too long to read. I think I've read about 50 pages, and that was just with me, like, doing 1,000 other things in between. So yeah, I think within a few days I'm going to have read this one, which is good because the library wants it back. Oh, it was lovely to see you too, Sharon. I keep forgetting it. Do you have a bank holiday this weekend, Kasia, or is that...
No, actually yesterday was a holiday in Germany. So I just switched the days because I had a job today. So I worked yesterday, which was a holiday, and I took the day off today to do the shoot. So yeah. No, it's a normal working day for me tomorrow, but it's fine.
So we're working. I've lost all track of days. Yeah, so it's a working day tomorrow, and then Monday.
Monday is off.
Yeah, on May Day, bank holiday. It's always the Monday after the 1st of May. I don't really know why. I'm sure there's some reason for this.
Next Thursday is a holiday here. Next Thursday.
Okay. I wonder if that's connected. Like, is that a May thing or...
No, it's a Christian thing. It's Ascension Day or something like that. I don't know.
I wonder if ours is connected to that. I have no idea. I probably should look it up because I just appreciate the fact that I get it and don't ask questions. Oh, 7 pages left. Sorry, we just stopped you at like a crucial moment.
But it means that you can finish it before bed.
This is good timing to get one book done today. Yes, I think that's my next move. Go to bed, and I normally read my Kindle in bed just because I can adjust the lighting and stuff.
Oh, really?
Switch to Kindle to go upstairs because I'm reading. Have you read any of the Witches of Thistle Grove? I think the series is called, or something like that.
No.
It's a rom-com series, but because it's so heavily steeped in witchcraft, like I find that I enjoy that as much as the romance. And the first book is Sapphic, and the second one is like a different couple, but the same. So the girls who got together in the first book, or the women who got together in the first book, they're in the second book, but they're not the couple you're kind of focusing on. And it's these different witchy families that all live in this place called Thistle Grove. And in the first book, they're kind of competing for which family will be like the dominant one for however many years. And then the next one is a murder mystery. So they're quite cool that they've got, like, the first one is like very mild Hunger Games. It's not like they're going to kill each other. They're just competing. It's more like Triwizard Cup type competing. The second one, obviously, a bit murdery. Or is it murder? I don't know whether it's murder or like so much as somebody's been attacked, I think.
So just some mystery.
And I mean, I like the fact that each book's got a slightly different angle so far, and they're really well written. I'm reading those on my Kindle at the moment. This is the problem. I jump in between books. Oh, Sharon's telling us. So May Day is Beltane, a pagan fertility holiday. Oh, that's interesting. So it's a Christian holiday a few days later where you are, and then we've got pagan. I didn't know in the UK that we sort of. I guess that it may be ties in coincidentally, or maybe it's intentional. I don't know, but that's really cool. I'm gonna have to Google what that is now. Okay, I think it's time to call it a night, but it's been really good. There's been so much chat tonight. I've loved chatting to you on screen. I feel like we've got some good like book talk.
Yes.
Oh, Kev's putting up a link. If you want to set her up, so anytime anybody who doesn't know me, anytime who sees Amy McCaw popping up on the screen, this is usually Kev, my husband being me. So if you want to set a reminder for next week's sprint, the link is right there. I think this earlier time does seem to work well. I feel a little bit more fresh than if it was like 10:30 right now. So yeah, hopefully some of you will join me next week. I'm not sure who I have on screen next week, but I'm sure I'll figure that out last minute as usual. So thank you, Kasia. Thank you, everyone who's joined in the chat. And hopefully I'll see you all next week. Bye.
Bye, guys.